mic is working. Now my mic should be working. So you should definitely be hearing me. So I see some people here. I'm assuming you can hear me. Okay, so the mic's good. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, tweet this out. I'm just going to tweet this out. I just want to see who shows up just for giggles. I was like, you know what? I have not gone live on this channel in a long time. So let's just go live and see what people are talking about. But I do appreciate you all being here. And give me 1 second because I'm going to tweet this out. Give me 1 sec. And when I'm done tweeting this out, I want to talk about some stuff. And put it on Blue Sky as well. Give me 1 sec. All right, and we should be good. All right, I was going on P-Lump. I see Kaz here. Everybody else is here. Nah, like I said, I've not gone live in a while on my own personal channel. I had to miss Gamertag Radio this morning due to some other stuff I needed to take care of, and I was like, you know what? Let's have a chat. Let's talk. So I appreciate you being here, and if anyone has something specific they would love for me to address, I'll be more than happy to do it. But I actually, and Khalif, the fact that you were here, you kind of inspired me because you were talking about something that we've seen over the past few days that I kind of wanted to address and give my opinions. And it's Xbox, because it's always Xbox, and it's always something with Xbox that people will either celebrate or take issue with. And the thing I wanted to talk about today is the layoffs that are about to happen. Obviously, the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X handheld that's about to come out, the partnership with AMD, and what we saw just happen a couple days ago, the Xbox app on PC with the Insider build. You now can integrate your third-party digital store libraries into the app and launch them from there. So what's up, Black Viking? I see you there. Again, in chat, just let me know if obviously that sounds good, video's bad or whatever. I just got Towerborn playing on a loop right here. People want to check that out because I personally love the game. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to address a few things. And like I said, definitely want this to be interactive. Where the heck is Everwild? Yeah, where is Everwild? I'm to the point, I don't think that game's coming. It's been way too long. Let's actually just start there with the Everwild. Couple games I was surprised we did not see at that showcase. Everwild was top of the list. State of Decay 3 would have been the other one. I do still think there's a chance we might see that at Gamescom, and maybe that's the plan for Everwild as well. But Everwild, we saw it in 2019, I do believe. And we know internally it allegedly has gone under some kind of reboot. I know Phil Spencer, when he went to Rare almost a year ago. I want to say it was like September, October last year. And there's pictures of him, and I guess he played Everwild. So there was a playable build. But the fact that they're still not talking about what it is, that's what concerns me the most. What is it? I don't know what it is. It's been 6 years and we still don't know what Everwild is. So there's definitely concern there with that. So I'm just to the point, when we see it, we see it. If a message, and obviously we can talk about these layoffs, if a message comes out that they've just decided to cancel the project altogether, would not shock me in the least at this point, just because they're not disclosing what the game is. And there's definitely been plenty of opportunities where they could have talked about it. So I don't know. And I'm seeing Black Viking even talking about potential Viva Pinata success for, yeah, I mean, the few underground rumblings that I've heard about it is potentially could be that. But again, these are just rumors. I want them to officially come out and talk about what Everwild is. So I'm just at that point. I assume nothing until we see it again. But let's talk about the layoffs. I've actually been radio silent on it because I've wanted to wait until it's official so that we know what it is. We've obviously seen all kind of opinions. There's been crazy rumors about what's going on. Tim Schafer definitely did not help things about an hour ago when he tweeted out something. So who knows what's about to happen. The rumor is we're going to hear something tomorrow because it's the end of the fiscal year. It's going to suck regardless. Anyone losing their job in any department sucks. The tech industry is on freaking fire. I knock on wood that I'm thankful that, my job, I've been able to survive a couple layoffs at my own company. You know what I mean? Because you just never know. It doesn't matter how good you are, how competent you are, how skilled you are. It comes down to numbers. It's a number game. And trust me, I'm not making any excuses for any of these companies, especially a multi-trillion-dollar company that could have, quote unquote, absorb the hit. And I get there's restructures and everything that goes with it. I would imagine these decisions are not easy. So I don't take any of this lightly. It sucks for everybody, especially the people obviously that are getting laid off, that have their entire lives disrupted, just everything that goes with it. So trust me, this is not a point of celebration of, ridiculous console wars, this, that, who cares? It's like people are losing their livelihoods over this. So when it is official and we see the aftermath of it, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conversations about this. But I can just tell you ahead of time, my heart and sympathy goes out to everyone that gets laid off because it sucks. And right now, the industry is not in a place where you can easily just hop to the next job. So we'll see. Like I said, I've obviously seen a lot of different conversations about it, but the truth is none of us know. None of us know until we know. Right now, it is, rumor and speculation and innuendo. And someone's asking me, have I ever done voiceover for commercials or ads? No, I've not. And I've definitely had people ask me that before. I hear that a lot. My own laziness is a part of it. I did have the great Jennifer Hale give me some advice and tell me, eyes kind of watering a little bit, and tell me the steps that I would need to take to get into voice acting. And I've just not done it. So that is 100% on me that I've not done it. It's just obviously real life that I have my schedule, everything. It would definitely take a commitment from me to be able to do it. But we'll see. I mean, I've been lucky that I've had opportunities where obviously I've done presentations and things like that. So it's been fun. I definitely think I could do it if I were to put forth the 100% effort to it. It's just real life is just too hectic right now. Wow, my eye is watering. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting sad. I don't know. Okay. So Mark is bringing up something which I wanted to also talk about, just again, with all the stuff that's going on. Mark is saying that Laura Fryer video is a truth bomb. Here's how I view it. I actually watch Laura Fryer's videos. I do think she has a lot of perspective and insight because she was there. So of course she would know. She was there during the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 era. She obviously knows the industry. So I don't take anything that she says lightly when it comes to that. And I think what she said today, or not today, but the other day, makes a lot of sense. I trust me, I don't discount anything that she said in that video just about Xbox and her business practices and her strategies and Game Pass and them potentially getting out of the hardware business, all of that. I will say now what I said to Khalif on social media about this. We're starting to recycle talking points because nothing she said is new. I do appreciate it coming from her perspective. Don't get me wrong, but nothing she said is new. And this goes to Mike Ybarra as well, because I know he said something today too. It's not new. What Xbox is doing is very disruptive to the norms that we've been used to over the past 30 years, 30, almost damn near 40 years of video games. They've made the decision I do not 100% agree with it. I want to be clear on that. Obviously, there's the infamous quote from me about, hey, if Halo and Gears and all that goes, grab your pitchforks. That is still valid if you feel that way. You have a right to feel that way. And I've said this before and I'll explain it again. Here's why. I don't fault any company for changing a business strategy, but Xbox started this generation selling you on exclusivity, selling you on the world's most powerful console. So a lot of people made decisions 5 years ago based on that fact. And then halfway through, you switched it up and said, no, it's not about exclusivity. It is no longer about having the world's most powerful console. It's about playing games wherever you want. So that's the trick of this, where I'm actually for the latter, and I've always really been for the latter. But you always told me, I was always told that exclusivity mattered for the sales, the hardware, obviously all these things. And then now halfway through, you tell me that it doesn't. If they would have gone through this entire generation still doing exclusivity, and then now, because it seems like as early as next year, we might be flipping to their next gen solution, then you said, you know what? We acquired Bethesda, we acquired Activision. We're just going to go multi-platform. We're still going to make this box and do everything that you're doing now. So now you get to make a choice, an educated choice on where you want to go as far as the ecosystem, the digital store you want to invest in, all that. They're halfway doing that because, again, there's a lot of people that got an Xbox that can't necessarily afford to go buy a Switch 2 or a PlayStation 5 that bought an Xbox on what you told them in 2020. So I understand people being upset about this. But like I said to Khalif in the tweet, is we're at a point now where it is what it is. We know what they're doing, whether you like it or you don't like it. Now we have to see if it works, because I have no freaking idea if it works. There's part of things that they're talking about doing that I like. I like Xbox Play Anywhere. I like Game Pass, obviously. I love the services that they provide. But just like I said to Phil Spencer earlier this year, okay, you're doing this. Why am I buying an Xbox? And he gave his reasons why. It's funny if you go back and see what he said back in January to obviously what we now know since the showcase. What he said makes more sense. It is still up to the individual if that is enough to make you want to go buy whatever their next gen solution is going to be. Again, my perspective on this, it is going to be the Windows operating system, and they're going to allow you, which we just saw a sneak peek of, and we'll talk about this, is now I will have access to my Steam store, my Epic Game Store, etc. Any PC digital store I will have access to on whatever this next console is going to be. They're making it pretty clear they don't care if you buy the console. So let me take Paris, the creator influencer, out of it, and I'm just Paris, the dad with 3 kids, and we all game. I don't necessarily know if I would buy an Xbox in the next gen because I have the PC that I have. If you're telling me my kids really could care less if it's an Xbox or not, it would come down to whatever they individually device that they would want to play on. And we'll see. Obviously, these handhelds are going to be into it, all this stuff. So them trying to convince tens of millions of people to still buy whatever this next gen Xbox is going to be, it is going to have to truly be innovative and phenomenal. Now, I've already talked about the fact that I see the future where, and appreciate everybody here in the chat, man. This is awesome that I just was like, I'm just going to turn on the camera and talk. I see a future if they pull this off, because that is the if of all of this. It all sounds great in theory. Let's see if they can execute it, where I can get Windows 11 Home or Windows 12 or whatever it's going to be. I can install it on the PC, essentially enable game mode, and it's now an Xbox. I think that's where they're going with this. I do. Yes, they'll provide a box you can stick under your television in the living room. They're going to clearly do this partner thing because we're already seeing it with Asus. I fully expect Lenovo, MSI on down the road to also have their handhelds and potentially their boxes that you would stick under the television of varying prices and performance modes, right? Does it work? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just at a point now, we gotta get to that point and see if it does work, because We can argue all the live long day about this, that, Xbox is doomed and all these videos, but we're at the point now where they've made the decision. They're executing it. We're about to get Gears of frickin' War on the PlayStation 5. We know Halo's coming, right? Starfield, I'm sure, is coming to PlayStation 5 too. You know, Fable on down the line. They're going to be on a PlayStation. Does it make more sense for you, the console gamer, to just go buy a PlayStation moving forward, and when the Xbox games show up there, be them day and date, or 6 months, 12 months down the road, that's where you play them? Because I'm pretty sure, and I'm not saying all, but I'm pretty sure if Microsoft would have said this is the strategy in 2020, at least half the people that bought an Xbox Series X or an S would have just bought a PlayStation 5. They would have. That's just fact, because not everyone's going to want multiple devices. Not everyone can afford multiple devices. So they will have to do a lot of heavy lifting going into this next generation to convince people to buy their device, because now they're saying you don't have to buy our device. And I think you need to be clear on that. And again, this is where bringing what Laura was talking about makes a lot of sense. This definitely gives them an exit ramp out of the hardware business. But I guess the real question comes down to, does it matter? That's what we have to ask ourselves. They're already now on record. They are making another console in 2026, 2027, up in there somewhere. We obviously see the Asus handheld. Will they have their own? TBD. There will be other partnered ones. So we know going into this next generation, there will still be the option of buying a hardware device. Now, I've talked about this too. By the time we get to forget, the next generation is going to happen similar to what the current one is. Obviously, the multiple digital stores on the Xbox side. But my point on is this. Once you get past that generation, now we're talking PlayStation 7. Is there even an Xbox at that point? Let's be clear. Phil Spencer's long gone at this point. Satya Nadella might be long gone at this point. Maybe Sarah Barnes around Matt Booty, who knows? But by the time we get into the 2030s and we start talking about the next generation, and I'm not saying let's skip over what's about to happen, but yeah, Xbox very well may be done at that point because it may not just make sense for them anymore. But, and this is the thing that is most important, forget devices. Will we get quality games? They're now essentially the biggest publisher in the world, right? We'll see what these layoffs are. I know they're going to be horrible, but we'll see what happens on Monday. But can they deliver me quality games in a timely manner? What we're seeing here this year and then projected going into next year, it seems like kind of yes. But obviously, again, you got to deliver on these things or none of this matters. If I don't have great games to play, what does it matter? Because I will say till the cows come home, I don't care what device I play these games on. I just want them to be good and I want them to be accessible to me. And yes, the price is coming into this. We know this hardware is going to be expensive. Game prices are now $80 has become a standard. Hell, I'm bracing for impact on what Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be. But I mean, we'll see. We're in a very weird situation now with the gaming industry. Just the way that this is the first generation where prices have gone up and not down. And here we are at the halfway point, damn near to the end point of this console generation. And it is more expensive now to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox than it was 5 years ago. That's crazy to me. Even a $450 Switch 2, as much as I like my Switch 2, $450 is a lot for what Nintendo provides from a performance standpoint, even though I like my Switch 2, don't get me wrong. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I've kind of just been ranting, so I haven't really been ignoring the chat here. Let me see what people are saying. Hey, appreciate that, Mark. Thank you. What's going on, Fuzzy? Oh, Ray. What is Ray saying? Do you think, in all caps, do you think they would have been more successful if they would have kept the same old? See, that's the big what if about all of this. And we obviously don't know the internal numbers. And let me put it this way. I think when they acquired Bethesda, it was still going to be the same old. I don't think that was disruptive enough that they were going to do this. I do think it was the $70 billion for Activision. That changed everything. And that, in a sense, accelerated any plans that they had. And it's like, you got to get a return on investment in that. People are not buying the hardware. They got all these delays on their games. We got to start recouping. whatever you want to think or say about the business update a year ago, obviously, it was very carefully worded on how Phil said it. But, when people were out there subscribing to Sea of Thieves in droves, that kind of signaled, well, we might as well keep going. And they kept going. And here we are. So you're getting games day and date on PlayStation. They're clearly willing to just take the 70% from a PlayStation store, from the Steam store, etc. Because if you go by what they've been saying, they are no longer trying to push you into their Xbox store, their Windows store. If you don't want to invest into that, where obviously they get 100% of their profits, they're okay with getting the 70% from the other ones. But this also means y'all better have a whole bunch of games and it better be good that I want to buy. Because it's also saying that you aren't necessarily subscribing to Game Pass and things like that. So I know a lot of people, let's just talk about this, because the other thing that I see a lot is, with this whole Xbox digital third-party digital store stuff, is why would they let Steam or the Epic Store on there? They're not going to make money. You're correct. You're correct that now they're definitely going to see a huge dip in that 30% they would have gotten from third-party games and indie games that would have been on their store, because not necessarily everyone's going to buy from the Xbox Store anymore unless Play Anywhere is a thing for them. They're just going to get it on Steam or wherever, right? So with that said, they're banking on their game selling. And even if they take a 30% loss on another digital store, they're going to have so much content that they're still generating a ton of revenue. And obviously games like Call of Duty and other live service games that have the microtransactions, they're making a bunch of money on that too. That's how I see it personally. So I think that's just the risk, and that's the disruptive change that they're doing with these open platforms. And I also think part of the open platform thing isn't necessarily about consoles. It's about mobile. They want a Windows store on the Apple Store, on Apple, on the iPhone. Bottom line. I mean, that really is what it comes down to. They want to increase their mobile presence, and they want to have their digital store. When I pick up my iPhone, I can buy stuff from there. And then Apple is not getting their 30% cut or whatever it is out of things they sell on there. They want to be able to have a native cloud streaming app on the iPhone, right? So instead of this web thing that we do now, it works, but it's not perfect. And obviously sell you stuff directly from there too. So there's a bigger strategy to this than just simply multi-platform games are on PlayStation. I personally think, again, this is just me speculating on this. No one's told me this. This is just me kind of looking at the situation of what they're doing. So, I mean, we'll see. We will see. Savage Zoe, saw you on the Double Barrel podcast. I think you're awesome, dude, for not falling into the negative stuff. So, because again, I get clipped a lot, and I'm sure some shit I'm saying on here will get clipped too. So Boom is a friend. I love Boom. These are people I've met in person. So Boom is someone I've met in person. So I like to go on a show. I watch a show and I'll go on there and I give my perspective on things. So I know the clip that came out. I would just simply suggest watch the whole thing, because alluding to what you're talking about is, I'm talking about the perils of social media and all the negativity stuff that we see on there and people doing all that. But my whole point is we got to stop this console war bullshit. We just do. We're adults. It's like, what are we doing here? And as I explained this to the one gentleman who likes to participate in that, I simply said, I don't. And I gave my reasons why I don't, because it escalates. What used to just be fun is now it's very toxic. And again, the fact that I even got clipped talking about that, it was used in a way to try and be shown as a negative. You know what I mean? And so it's like, what are we doing when it comes to that? We should be talking about video games. Look, the layoff stuff, obviously, these are real life things that we should be talking about that are negative, but video games are supposed to be fun. It's not, and like I said to the one gentleman, it's not a us versus them thing. The gaming community it's all one. That's one thing that I definitely take pride on. The fact is, the dude you're talking to right now is the dude that you will meet in real life. I'm not a character. I'm not anything. I like being out there. Obviously, my face, is out there in the public eye. I'm on camera at least once a week, right? But yeah, look, people will say and do some awful things online. Am I guilty of diving in the mud every now and again? Of course. I don't deny that. I'm definitely trying to be better about not doing that and setting that example. But, you know, sometimes you have to address things. Like I said, this weird thing now where I did I went hands-on with the new Ace, the Xbox Ally. And obviously the thumbnail is a picture of myself holding it. And people like literally post that picture online as if I don't know what I look like. Of course, hey, look, are you making fun of how I look? I'm ugly or whatever. But it's like I am who I am. So it's just weird that there's so much animosity and resentment out there. And ultimately it comes down to brands, because you might like a brand that I don't. So it's weaponized in this weird way. And I talked about just people being anonymous online. It's like, it's interesting to me. The most vocal people are the most anonymous people. So they obviously have no accountability. So they'll say and do whatever they want. And that's all it comes down to. But yeah, I like Boom. He's my friend. People, I don't agree with him, because again, if you go watch when I'm on there a lot, it's me disagreeing with some of the things that they talk about. And I get it. He's a fan. He's passionate. I try to bring my perspective into things as well. And that's all it comes down to. But let's see. Let's keep this going. And I really appreciate everybody being here. It's so funny. There's like over 120 people here. I just turned on the camera. How you doing? This is Hillbeast from Scotland. Awesome. What else do we have here? But yeah, let's talk about that Xbox app on PC, because that was the other funny thing. Obviously, the insider thing happened this week, and I'm on the insider build. And I'll never forget, the other day, I'm just sitting here, and my app updated. I was like, oh, it updated. Open up the app. I saw all the Steam games I had installed were there. I was like, oh, cool. Took a screenshot of it, posted it. Chaos. Then I'm like, you know what? I should just make a quick video of me launching a game from the Xbox, a Steam game from the Xbox app. So I launched Hades 2. And just be clear, yes, I have Spider-Man 2 installed on Steam. I saw it, and I purposely looked at it and I go, if I use this as an example, it's just going to be nonsense. It's going to be drama. Don't do it. Just launch a game that you can only play via Steam right now as an example. Boom, Hades 2. Did it, posted it, 15-second video. Didn't say, hey, this is great. Didn't say it's the future or anything. I just said, here it is. It was a feature that wasn't available before that you can do now. And clearly, as I had already experienced, this is an example of how it's going to be on the Xbox Ally and eventually the next generation Xbox console. So I think this is a very early sneak peek preview. That's my thinking on this. The comments are just insane that people are like, would spin this into well, this is pointless. GOG did it 10 years ago. Why are we doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Console wars, cats and dogs. Like, bro, I'm just showing you something that you couldn't do before. And that's what I don't understand. That just goes into the point of what I'm saying with social media. It's like, here's Xbox trying to fix something that I know I've complained about for years. The Xbox app on PC is not great. And they know it, because I've told them this many times. I've had direct conversations about this. They know. They're clearly aware. And from what I saw at the showcase to now seeing what they just put on this insider build, they're taking steps to fixing it. Good. Because I want it to be good. Not that, hey, everyone, go use the Xbox app now. You don't have to. If you're used to using Steam or the Epic Store, keep doing it. No one's telling you not to. But I will say this. If that handheld works the way that I hope it does from what I saw back in June or, earlier this month, then I do see me taking advantage of, I'm in the Xbox experience on the Xbox Ally, and I see Hades 2 on there. I don't have to jump out of that experience, jump into Steam to then launch the game. I can just press the button and it plays. And that's what I care about. I know people are like, oh, you're doing extra steps. It's not an extra step if you're already in the app, and that's where you launch your games from. That's kind of the point that I'm looking at. Trust me, I don't even want to get into this ridiculous argument about playing PlayStation games on Xbox, because I am on record, and y'all want to clip shit, clip this. The Xbox Ally is not an Xbox console. It is a PC handheld that is running Windows 11. And it's not an Xbox console because I cannot play all of my Xbox games on it. That's just the fact of what it is. And that is completely okay. Now, do I think there's going to be a day where there will be backwards compatibility on Windows? Yes. Then we can have a different conversation about it. The fact that I can launch a PlayStation Steam game on it, great. You can do that right now, technically. So it's really no different. So I don't like getting into the whole, oh, we won, we got a one up on you, or it's a negative or it's a bad thing. It is what it is, because I highly doubt that PlayStation's going to try and block this, because why would they? I'm a paying customer. You already let me play it on Windows. So what's the difference? That's how I look at it. And where are we here? Yeah, it's Xbox PC. I mean, that's their new marketing term for it. And what are we saying here? Paris, you think Microsoft is going to conquer the living room like they wanted to? I think they're going to try. That's what I think. I think they're going to try. And it's so funny because people are pulling up videos from 25 years ago when they originally were doing the concept for the Xbox. And that was the whole point. That's what Bill Gates wanted. He wanted Windows in the living room. And that's kind of now 25 years later where we're starting to see them get to. Will it, look, this was the Xbox One, TV, all that. Will it be successful? Who knows? I'm very curious to see if they can pull it off. I'll put it that way. Oh, and I got a super chat. So JD Gamer, thank you so much. $5 super chat. And JD is saying, next gen, when Xbox is building the one box to rule them all the PC accessibility with console ease sounds like a dream. More games and more stores. And that's the whole thing that they're trying to get to. That's what I was just talking about. It's about Windows, and Sarah Bond said it herself, obviously, in that video. They want Windows to be the de facto gaming platform. And the simple way that I put it is Xbox is Windows, Windows is Xbox. You know, I was lucky enough during the 50th anniversary for Microsoft, I was on campus, and I actually got to sit down with the corporate vice president, for Surface and Windows. And we talked about all this stuff. It's funny, I replay the conversation we had in my mind, because now that we know all of this, it makes a lot more sense. This is the biggest collaboration, and he told me this at the time, that Xbox and the Windows team have ever had, right? And obviously the 25 years of Xbox. So, like I said before, to me, they want the consumer version of Windows to have the ability to be an Xbox. And like I said, maybe you enable some game mode or whatever, but it's going to fire up that Xbox app. It becomes the big screen experience for you. And like a conversation I even had with Jason Ronald at the showcase after I got hands on, we were talking about it more extensively. And they're aware of, because, you know, I'm immediately in my head, well, it can't do this. Well, how do I install Steam? Now you're making me go to the desktop. What about security updates? Is it going to kick me out of experience? I'm asking all these kind of questions, right? And they're aware of that. And those are on the table, obviously, that they know they still need to resolve. So I want to be clear, if they can resolve these things and make it a seamless experience. And I keep going back to is what Valve has done with SteamOS. That is the ideal situation that I want from Windows. If they can pull that off, then perfect. Because right now with SteamOS, I am never forced to go to the excuse me, the Linux desktop for anything unless I so choose to do so. And that's how it should be for Windows with their gaming experience. So we'll see. And again, thank you for that super chat. Always appreciate that. What do we have here? Which is should be doing this a decade. Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's funny you say that Microsoft should have been doing this a decade ago. See, I think this is what they were trying to do with Xbox One back in 2013. It was just the messaging was so bad that they had to pivot, excuse me, at the time, and take all that stuff out and get rid of Connect and all that. Hold on a sec. A little bit congested. Apologies. Excuse me. But yeah, that's what I think they were trying to do even back then. I don't think to this extent, but it was clearly a play to take over the entire living room, not only as a gaming box, but as an entertainment box as well. And what else do we have here? Again, I appreciate all y'all hanging out. Like I said, I'm literally just rambling here, you know. Lisa Wu, you know, if you go watch the vid I have on the channel, I'm saying Lisa Wu, and right after, like, I edited it and I posted it, I go, oh my God, it's Lisa Sue. I have not re-recorded all this. So I just put a disclaimer in the thing and I was like, that's it. But yeah, I totally screwed that one up, so again, my apologies. Now, this is the Paris we need. Please elaborate, sir. What do you mean by that? I want to know what you mean by this is the Paris we need. I feel like this is how I always talk, but maybe I'm wrong. But again, yeah, appreciate y'all hanging out here. Like I said, man, I want to do more with this channel, my own personal channel. Obviously, I do stuff with Gamertag Radio and Kind of Funny, and I have this channel just sitting here where it's like I can do this when I want. And it's just me just kind of getting my full thoughts out there and what I think about, is happening, obviously, in gaming, tech, all that stuff. And, obviously, I know I've put out a few vids, gameplay stuff, some preview things, obviously, like I just did the VR headset as well, where is it? Did I put it? Oh, it's over there. I'd have to go grab it. But, I did the MetaQuest 3S video, which you can go watch on the channel right now. And even that one, like, it was so funny when it leaked because I had it, God, like a week, before the embargo date. So when it leaked, I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. So I was like, I couldn't say anything, obviously, because I'm under embargo for it. And it was just funny to see the speculation happen at a time because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this is no different than the MetaQuest 3 or the 3S that you already have because you can put the Xbox app on it. All this really is a limited edition run that is Xbox branded. Obviously the carbon black and the velocity green, to go with the technical terms on that. And it comes with that controller because I know a lot of people want to get that controller as well. And it comes with 3 months of Game Pass and you can get 3 months of Meta Horizon Plus. But this isn't new because when the Xbox app originally came on the MetaQuest 3, I talked about it then. This was December of 2023, I believe. Or it might have been under embargo, so I might have talked about January of 2024. But that's how long this has technically been out. And at that time, there was a lot of latency with the controls on the Bluetooth, but they've definitely resolved and fixed that. It's a pretty good experience. You have this big screen experience. You can go into a virtual environment if you want, and you're playing your games via cloud, right? Obviously, the Game Pass games and any cloud game that you own, you can stream that as well. When I say cloud, a game that you own that is cloud enabled, I should say, like The Witcher 3 is one, Cyberpunk, things like that. Like I said, it works good. But it was just funny to see like people, and like, again, this goes to the initiative that they're talking about. This is an Xbox. They're trying to just give you all these devices that give you multiple avenues to be able to play your games, be it native or cloud streaming. Like I also reviewed when the Amazon Fire Stick came out last year. They sent that to me early. I put a video out for that as well. And, I've obviously been an advocate of cloud gaming. I've always said with cloud gaming, it is not going to be the primary way you play games. It's going to be a supplement to it. And it still is. The tech is definitely getting better. GeForce Now is the leader in the space for sure. And hopefully Xbox, as they move here into the next generation with their cloud streaming, they can improve it even more. So we'll see. And what do we have here? JD Paris, doesn't the Xbox version come with a $70? Yes, it comes with that Elite strap too. So actually, I'm going to show you what I did. Hold on, I'm going to grab it. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. All right. So you're actually seeing me grab this real time. So this is it right here. And as you can see, I took the strap off. And this is the controller. See that there? But I took the strap off because I put it on the MetaQuest 3. I have it on the MetaQuest 3 right now. And the reason being is the MetaQuest 3 has better resolution and better lenses in there. It's just crystal clear. It's just the better of the two VR headsets. But again, this is something we already knew. So like I said, this is the 3S. I mean, it's totally fine. Don't get me wrong. This is very usable. When I did the review, obviously I was using this, but since I have a MetaQuest 3, I just put the Elite strap on that because it just made more sense for me. But I do believe they've said, I guess this limited run is already sold out. So clearly there was a demand for it. I don't know how many were made, but I do appreciate Xbox and Meta sending it over to me. And let's see. Paris is usually trolling the chat of ILP at this time. That is very true. I love those guys. I love the Iron Lords. And that, to me, is why I love doing all this, is people like that. Obviously, Cog, King, Addict, Sov. It's like getting, and I still haven't met Sov in person. I can't wait till I get to meet him in person. But it's getting to know those brothers over the years and being able to hang out with them. Like I said, I'm in there trolling in the chat. They'll have me come up every now and again, on the show, and we talk. And then we're all at Summer Game Fest, and we all got to hang out, talk in person. It's like, that's the kind of shit that I love. I love that. I love the in-person events. I love hanging out with the community and having just the real conversations, not this online nonsense that we have to go through, from time to time. But yeah, I love them to death and wish them nothing but success. That's why, when we did the community watch party, I made it a point, to just shout them out, because I think what they do in the community is very important and should always be acknowledged, because those guys, again, they start off just like I did way back in the day. They're just fans who are very passionate about video games, and they've built their community and their platform into something special. So none but love to them. And P Lump, you got the MetaQuest 3S. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the 3S. Like I said, it's just the 3 has even better resolution, and like shit, I almost grabbed that. And this is like my Vision Pro, which, look, as much as goddamn thing costs, I mean, this is 4K visuals, and it's fantastic. But yeah, the MetaQuest 3 and the 3S are good, and definitely a lot cheaper, because I think you can get the 3 for $500 and then the 3S for $299. And obviously you want to get the Elite strap and all that adds onto it. That's why the bundle, what was the bundle? The bundle was $399. Pretty good value for the fact that you're getting that Elite strap and you're getting a controller with it too. Yeah, I am definitely planning on getting Deadpool VR. I'm really looking forward to that. That Batman VR is great into it. Asheron's Call 2 is probably the best MetaQuest VR game right now that I've played. Batman one's pretty good as well, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Deadpool. Trust me. Oh yeah, right on, P Lump. And again, P Lump is another example. See, this is why I love the community, man. It's like P Lump, Ray, people like that. It's like, I'm hanging out in their chats all the time, and I'll pop up on the show and all that. I'm usually cussing a lot more and talking shit when I'm on there with them. But the point is, it's like, I get it. I've been lucky, some of the opportunities that I get. I know I'm a somewhat known figure in gaming, I guess. But at the end of the day, man, it's just, I just like hanging out with people in the community and talking about gaming and having fun, really. And Web Dave with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Paris, can't wait for tonight on Gamers Council. Yes, sir. I will be there at 4 p.m. Pacific. I will be on there, and looking forward to chatting with you about gaming. Ironically enough, I almost didn't do this what I'm doing now, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm beyond with Web Dave later. I was like, it's fine. I'll come on early and just do a live stream and just shoot the shit for a little bit. And do you like racing games? It pairs well with VR. Excuse me. I do, but I will admit, I just play Forza Horizon 5. I mean, it's really all I've played in more recent times. Forza Motorsport was okay. We obviously know there was issues with that at launch. Gran Turismo, I tried getting into. I know I did the Gran Turismo VR on PSVR 2, stuff like that. But yeah, Forza Horizon 5 has really been my go-to. So it's going to be interesting to see what this next version is going to be whenever they show it next year. And let me check something real quick. Let's see, what do we got here? Yo, I have to admit something. I was really hoping, and I'm not kidding, I was really hoping some of my detractors would be here in the chat today and have something to say, because I was going to invite you to come on and we could have a conversation because, look, as much as I may talk at the camera and I have my opinions and all that, I will never sit here and say that I'm right 100% of the time because I'm wrong a lot. But I always find it interesting with some of the detractors I have that it's like, why don't you let's just have a conversation? Because I would love to have that conversation, with people that disagree with some of the stuff that I say. And Web Dave, yes, everyone hit the like button. See, I suck at this stuff. Yeah, I guess you're supposed to like and subscribe and all those good things, right? Yeah, you're supposed to do that and hit the thumbs up and all that, and that helps the algorithm come check out the stuff that I do. And no, I'm not going to call Alex. I think that dude streams on Saturday for like 5, 6, 7 hours at a time. And let's see, any other questions out there? Because like I said, I just wanted to hit the live button and see what people are talking about. You know what? I would absolutely love to talk to Dreamcast Guy. He probably wouldn't want to talk to me, but I would love to talk to him because I have questions. I have questions that I would love to hear him answer in public versus in a one-on-one private conversation. But I doubt. I do know he unblocked me because he had me blocked for a long time. And I know he was on with Attic and he had some words to say about me. Nothing bad. And I had even said this the other day because, he came out with another Xbox's Doom video. And I replied to someone, I said, I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he's doing what he has to do for him. I may not agree with it, but he's doing what he has to do. So just leave it at that. Leon, no, I'm not playing Rematch, and everyone's telling me I need to. I even got a few grumpy messages from some people that were upset that I was not playing it. So I need to play it. I definitely need to check that out. And what I said, what do you think Xbox plans for mobile? I mean, obviously it all starts with Candy Crush. With them, you got Call of Duty mobile, stuff like that. We have to remember, mobile, more people play on mobile than they do on console. It's just a fact. The numbers say it. There's way more, and obviously it's a more casual audience, but there's way more people playing games on mobile than on console and PC. So I think this is a part of the reason, and I had been saying this going back into the original acquisition, that Activision thing was more about King than it was Call of Duty, in my opinion, because of Candy Crush. And I think they want to get their Windows store, their mobile store on the iPhone and Android. That's what they want. They don't want to have to share profit for that with Apple and any restrictions that they might have. They want to be able to put their store in there, sell all their apps and obviously other third-party apps through their store, obviously all the microtransactions and other things like that. Fuzzy. Yes, I have played the Division 2 Brooklyn DLC, and it's really good. I definitely suggest anyone out there, if you're a fan of the Division, Brooklyn DLC is really good. Like, I'm very curious to see, are they just going to straight up go with a Division 3, or will they continue to just whatever next big expansion? Because it seems like winter's coming to DC, right? So will they just continue to do stuff like that moving forward? I hope we just get a full-on Division 3. But I've been a huge fan of the Division for a very long time. So that DLC was really good. So I'm just glad that Ubisoft and Massive did not give up on it. I think currently they're doing a better job keeping me interested in the Division than Bungie is doing with Destiny. Actually, yeah, that's someone saying grumpy message from a former XCast co-host to play Rematch. Yes, that's exactly the message I got. Oh, it's funny that you know that. What else do we have here? Yeah, how long have I been on? Yeah, I may just jump out of this now. Like I said, I wanted to kind of come on here and just talk for a little bit because I had not done anything live in a while. Kind of just address a couple things that I've been seeing in the community. I mean, like I said, Monday, I don't know what to expect Monday with these layoffs. No matter what they are, it's not going to be good. So that's probably going to be a huge talking point next week, whatever these layoffs are. I hope entire studios are not closed because, Dirt even someone said that I said that they weren't closing the studios. I don't know shit, just to be clear. I don't know anything. So I definitely did not say that. I'm hopeful that does not happen. I'll say that. But obviously, we'll see. So we're just going to have to brace for impact on those things. And Web Dave is asking me, am I going to Germany? As it stands today, no, I'm not. There is still an outside chance I might, but right now, no, I'm not going. But that could change in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, if it does change, I will be talking about it, because I will be scrambling to make a bunch of appointments for Gamescom. And I've not been to Gamescom since 2019. So I definitely want to get back there and see. I would say, regardless, next year's going to be the year to go to a lot of in-person events, just because it's the 25th anniversary of Xbox. So I fully expect the June showcase to be big. I expect their Gamescom to be big. And then obviously when we get to November 15th, 2026, I expect that to be a big day too. And Xbox BG, any ETA prediction for the next gen Xbox announcement or release? Okay, so here's my theory, and I've said this a few times already. When we get to November 15th, 2026, one of two things are going to happen. At minimum, you will see whatever that next gen console is on that date. That's at a minimum. We will know what it is at a minimum. Number two, Halo Combat Evolved Remake comes out on that day. It just makes sense. It's the 25th anniversary. And actually, there's three things. The third thing, and I'm starting to lean towards this, again, no inside info. This is just me putting the tea leaves together. I would not be shocked if that console comes out. If for the 25th anniversary, we get a new Xbox with a remake of Halo Combat Evolved. I think it could happen. Now, if we're getting the console on that date, we'll see it ahead of time. I think we would see it by at least the June showcase of 2026, if not a little earlier. If it's going to come out in 2026. If it's not coming out in 2026, you just wait until November 15th to show it. That'd be my guess. So we'll see. We will see. I'm going back to LA. Yeah, Web Dave. I think going to LA next year would be a big deal. And I know what Ben and Hargeet and everyone's doing for the watch party is going to be bigger and better next year. I highly suggest, if you have the opportunity to go, that you definitely go. That was quite the honor to have them set all that up, all the hard work everyone did to get that set up, and have us kind of host like a pre-show before the showcase, talking with the community. Again, it's always great to see people in person. Like I got to meet Web Dave in person this year. Great guy, great man. And I'm realizing the chat that I'm looking at is delayed to what I'm talking about. So let's see if there's anything else. I'll give it a few minutes here to see if anyone has anything else to say, and then probably going to get out of here. So what Sean is saying, and I was just talking about someone about this too. He goes, man, would it be awful for Xbox if they plan all these games for the fall and then GTA gets pushed to the fall? So there's no, okay, so let's go by what Phil said. So Phil says at the very end, Fable, Forza, Gears E-Day, and a game that's been with us since the beginning. We all know it's Halo, right? So that's 4 games. There's no way you can drop all 4 of those games in the fall. That's crazy talk. So again, my guess, just guessing. Don't be shocked if we get a Forza in the first half of the year, right? Maybe Fable, but you put Gears E-Day. Ideally, you would, not to mention you're going to get another Call of Duty as well, right? So you got to put that in the mix for the fall. So ideally, you would do Gears E-Day on the 20th anniversary, but then I realized that's in November, and then obviously the 25th anniversary is in November, so maybe you do Gears Day a little earlier in October. I could see a scenario of this. We get Forza first half of the year, and obviously maybe a State of Decay 3, something like that, first half of the year. Second half, starting in September, you get Fable in September, you get Gears E-Day in October, you get the next Call of Duty end of October, early November, Halo remake on November 15th. I think that's the cadence. That would be my guess, right? If I had to guess anything. And obviously anything that could potentially get announced here, you know, at Gamescom that's coming up, right? But I think that would be the cadence. But to your point about Grand Theft Auto, if Grand Theft Auto slips again into the fall, at that point, I just think you have no choice. It is what it is. You just put the games out. Yeah, I mean, you can't keep delaying and pushing things around, worrying about what Rockstar is going to do. They've said May. You got to plan it around May. And I think if they were to change it this early on, maybe you can compensate for that. But if they wait until 2026 to now say, oh, wait, you know, they put out a tweet, you know, on yellow background saying we're delaying Grand Theft Auto 6 to October of 2026. F it. You still just got to put the stuff out at that point. That would be my opinion. Yeah, I don't think we get Clockwork Revolution next year. Clockwork Revolution and the way they even phrased it makes me think at the earliest 2027. That's a holiday 2027 game. When I think Xbox in 2027, I'm thinking Perfect Dark. I'm thinking Clockwork Revolution. Maybe Contraband, which again, that's another game that we've not seen. Everwild, I have no faith in at this point. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Whatever Bethesda's cooking at some point, Bethesda, we got to get something new Fallout related. Like we're going to get, and I didn't even realize I got this scoop at the time, but when I interviewed the Fallout 76 team, during Summer Game Fest, talking about, you know, the Gone Fishing, you know, content, you know, Jonathan, who's creative director, you know, he straight up said that the biggest update for Fallout 76 is coming later this year. And then when you think about it, the Fallout TV show is December, I believe, right? So again, 1 + 1 = 2. I'm imagining they're going to tie whatever Fallout 76 update with season 2 of Fallout. And it makes sense because you're going to have a lot of eyeballs on Fallout. Obviously, the first season was a huge success. You have content ready to go when that season 2 comes out, and you're going to see a bunch of people jump back into Fallout 76. So I think that happens, but I want something new from Fallout. Now, Fallout 5 is probably a very long ways away, but maybe we get a Fallout 3 remake, something like that. I would love to see come in the next couple years. Man, my throat is scratchy. Yeah, I probably should definitely end this here. But what else do we have? Yeah, Fallout New Vegas is one of the best video games ever made. It is for sure in my top 10. It is my favorite Fallout game for sure. And I love Fallout 3 as well. And I got another super chat from JD. I don't know. I'm losing my voice here. Scratchy throat, but I'll read the super chat from JD Gamer and I think I'm going to wrap this up. Excuse me. JD Gamer is saying with a $2 super chat. And again, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. If the next gen Xbox comes in 2026, launch games are Halo Combat Evolved, this Call of Duty game, right? Because those were, again, we're going by rumors. This is not fact, but the rumor is the next Call of Duty is being developed for the next gen, aka no more Xbox One or PlayStation 4, right? So yeah, it's gonna be playable on the Series X and the S. There's no way they would not do that. But the fact that potentially they're making a game that you can no longer play on the previous Call of Duty game that is no longer playable on the previous generation games makes me think you do this Halo Combat Evolved, you know, remake. You have a Call of Duty, and then I'm sure there'll be some other third-party games that'll be cross-gen. But I think those would be two big pillars coming from Xbox Game Studios, and then maybe one of their other studios has a smaller AA type game that goes with it as well at launch. That'd be my guess. And obviously with them doing this as an Xbox, these games are going to be available on PS5 day one as well. So even if the next generation Xbox comes out in 2026, whatever games they have will be playable on PlayStation 5. And if Switch 2 can play them, they'd probably be playable on Switch 2 as well. That'd be my guess. And P-Lump with a $2 super chat. I appreciate that, sir. Why is everybody lying and hating on the Quest 3S? I don't think anyone's hating and lying on it. I think people just don't understand what its capabilities are. I think anyone that's in the VR already knows what the 3S can do. So none of this is a shock. But I think some people, and this is where I'm seeing it leaked, and you saw rumors go wild, they were thinking that now all your Xbox games were going to be VR enabled or something like that, right? And this is not the case. You're just playing your Xbox games in a basically in the headset, and now you got a 100-foot screen that you could play them on if you so wanted to, right? But the games themselves are not in VR. And what about State of Decay 3? That's what I mean. I mean, that's a maybe, but they obviously didn't talk about it this year, so we don't know. Maybe they talk about it at Gamescom. I don't know. Maybe they wait until the Dev Direct in January and talk about it there. I mean, I do think there's a strong chance State of Decay 3 is 2026, but when in 2026, I would guess first half of the year, just because of all the other flagship games that they're that they're already committed to coming out in 2026. And what else do we have here? All right. I do think if you could get Flight Sim to work, though, it would be sick. Yeah, you can play Flight Sim on the, I think you're talking about the VR headset. You can play Flight Sim on there right now because you can cloud stream it. So you can play it right now. Okay, so let's talk about the PlayStation of things really quick. Because sometimes I get accused of I don't like PlayStation when if a Google search shows all that's not true. But anyways, I don't even want to bring that up. Excuse me. And I'm definitely losing my voice, but here we go. So he's saying, Paris, I think Xbox right now is more focused on gamers more than PlayStation. Like, where the heck are the exclusive games? Excuse me. So we're getting Ghost of Yotei later this year. Can't wait to get it. I know it's going to be fantastic. That's a day one for me. We obviously just got Death Stranding 2, Game of the Year contender for them. My question really for PlayStation right now is, what is 2026? I believe Herman Hulst said they're committed to at least one big AAA PlayStation game a year now, right? A little disappointing to hear that. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to hear, hey, we're committed to multiple games a year coming from our internal studios. That's what you would want to hear. But let's just go by the philosophy of at least one. Where's Wolverine? Where is it? I mean, we saw that in 2020, I believe, right? And obviously we know there was a leak. We know there's other things about that game that if you go search, you can find. I want to, and this is really digging into Everwild territory for me. What is it? What is Wolverine? What is it going to be? I want to hear more about it. Talk about it. Why didn't we get Spider-Man DLC this time? You know what I mean? Where was it Intergalactic? I mean, they obviously debuted it at the Game Awards last year. When is that coming? Is that a 2026 game? 2027? Like, I want to know what their internal studios are working on. It'd be very nice to kind of get a showcase of that. I mean, and look, the third party partner stuff is great. Don't get me wrong. But I do want to see more from PlayStation because I like PlayStation games. I mean, it's really that simple. You know, I know a lot of people got mad at me when I said it was criminal that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or whichever one anyways, wasn't on Xbox. And ultimately, yeah, because I don't think third-party games should be exclusive. Let's talk about that because I think I want to be crystal clear on that. I personally have no problem with exclusivity. If you own the IP, you can do what you want with it. I have no problem with that. If PlayStation doesn't bring their games to other platforms and you got to get a PlayStation very similar to Nintendo to play their games, that is their right to do so. You know what I mean? But third parties, I don't agree with at all. And I never will, because there's a reason they're a third party publisher. You're literally just making, financial deals to keep games away from other platforms to force someone to get the game on your platform. So no, I'll never be a fan of that. I'll never see a justification for that, but that's just my personal opinion. So I hope I answered your question about PlayStation. I kind of ranted there for just a second. And yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. So, because I'm kind of losing my voice here a little bit, but this was a test and I appreciate people being here. I mean, I'm looking like shit. Over 1,000 people were in here at a certain point watching this. So that's crazy. But I do appreciate you hanging out here. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate the questions, the super chats, all that stuff. like I said, I definitely want to do this more. I think it's a good way for me to kind of express my opinions on certain things. And yeah, we'll keep doing this thing. And thank you so much for hanging out. And I will talk to you again real